such that it's worthy of some extraordinary steps, not in terms of the outcome of the case, perhaps an investigation, perhaps really pushing Pakistan for some information?
What would you have us do? What would you have me do? Now, you know, what I do here day in and day out is draft indictments to present for consideration to grand juries, to indict people who we suspect have violated federal criminal law. That's all I do for a living. I don't know what I can do to serve as moral anodyne about what Pakistan is doing or not doing with their nuclear program. I just can't, that goes way beyond what I can do.
You start out with these stories of some sort of a theory, and when you say, now, if this theory is right, this guy's going to take a walk, and not that anybody fixes everything, it's just that the way you present it to a judge and the way the government prosecutes the case and what they don't do is more important than what they do. They don't investigate the goddamn Pakistani angle. There's no sign that the government, the FBI, the customs went bananas on to find out who this guy is and what he was working on. VAID was 3 days from being deported. Mr. VAID, thank you for seeing us again. We've interviewed Michael Bohm at the shipping company that you used to ship the Crichons, who told us that you asked him whether or not, while it was being wrapped, whether or not it would go through customs. And
yes, I asked that question, but why?
Please give an answer.
Because, you know, it was totally to plan the packaging. It was meant for nothing else. If there was no customs to be done, then I'll seal the package. I never sealed the package. I just sent it open for customs with a list declaring them as switches or bulbs. That is how I knew it then. I remembered the name Crichon after I was arrested and when it was sort of talked about.
The problem I have with all of this is that why take a chance and violate the export laws of this country? With electronic gadgetry, whether you knew about it or not, EG&G, perhaps you must have known, was a big defense contractor in the nuclear industry business. The money in it to ship the goods is meaningless. Why take such a chance?
I never took a chance. I sent the package open to the customs with declaration, and the usual universal approach should have been that the customs checks it and says, look, this item needs a license.
We've also learned that, in the opinion of many experts in the United States, there is really nothing in Pakistan in terms of medical facilities or research in high-energy physics that would justify 50 Crichons. I think we have to say, we see you as somebody who had to understand what he was doing. And we wonder what you think about that.
First of all, let me tell you about American experts. Shah of Iran really depended on American experts, and you know the result. Where he landed, nobody in the world let him put his feet on their own land, and he died a miserable death in spite of all his money and all American support. So American experts are such. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, as everybody knows, that we have the capability to build a nuclear weapon. But we openly say that we don't do it. We don't at least plan to make a bomb, and we are not going to do it until, I don't know, the situation of the world changes. And at present, I'm 100% sure, not 99%, 100%, that we are not planning to have any nuclear device.
I hear what you're saying. There are many people in your government and in your country who share this view, and yet there's this incredible game played in which Pakistan is forced to go around saying, well, it's okay, nothing really happening. I think it's a game. I wonder what you think. In other words, that they're in a position of having publicly to please perhaps us, the Americans who supply so much aid. What's your attitude about this public position of denying what most people in the world knows exists?
I think countries like ours, we are very frank and straightforward. We don't play games like superpowers do. We do what we say what we do.
Is there anything you would say to the American people any particular statement you want to make?
In fact, about America, I'm going to write a book, let me tell you frankly. I feel that America is heading or running very fast towards self-destruction. And this self-destruction is not unifold, it's manifold. There's social self-destruction. They're heading for a religious destruction. They're heading for a political destruction, heading for an economic destruction. They are heading for humanitarian destruction, and a few more which I'm still thinking. I'm working on it, and I'm going to write a book on that. I'm really trying to project many things which Americans living in America do not realize. Only we people who come here as visitors can realize how different they are.
With each interview, NAZIR VAID's account of his actions seemed less credible, but his need to express his strong feelings about America appeared to override caution.
And I'm really happy that I could talk to probably American masses through you. And at least I'm happy that my position is much clearer.
At the end of our second interview, VAID agreed to waive the attorney-client privilege, making it possible for his two immigration attorneys, Peter Williamson and Spencer Gardner, to speak freely. The lawyers had some startling documents to show me.
There are a series of cables from VAID to Pakistan which tell an awful large part of the story. This one, for example.
Read it, please.
And it's referenced the EG&G products, which are the Critrons. They completely regretted the possibility to supply, as they were not allowed to sell even to Canada. I have made some alternative arrangements and have placed the order for KN-22s already. Delivery 30 days. Full payment has been made in advance.
The telexes showed that NAZIR VAID had been directed to purchase the Critrons by S.A. Butt, the same man who ran Pakistan's clandestine operations in Europe in the 1970s. He was also receiving orders from Colonel Dar, the senior executive officer of the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. Williamson then produced a series of letters making clear that VAID had been filling orders inside the United States for Colonel Dar and Mr. Butt for more than a year. The letters directly linking VAID to the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission had been in the government's possession since the day of VAID's arrest. This is it. This puts the lie to VAID. I have to say that. VAID, unless you can explain otherwise, indicated to us just in the jailhouse just a few hours ago, we saw him literally an hour and a half ago, he again and again reiterated that he did not have any idea that anybody in the senior echelon of the Pakistan government had any interest in his affairs, that he was simply fulfilling an order for the University of Islamabad, and he specifically denied there was any other purpose, or that he had any thought there was any other purpose, or that he had any thought his government was involved.
That's what I was telling you. I think the guy knew what he was doing. And I don't know why the government didn't make any more of this. Now, that's what I'm hoping you're going to be able to tell me, why the government didn't make more of this. The government started off this case, going into court, reading something from the State Department, saying this man is a big spy and we got to do all kinds of horrible things to him. And at the end of the case, for some reason, they quietly folded their books and went away. There is no reason that Mr. VAID, there's no reason that he shouldn't have done a lot of time in the penitentiary. We fully expected that, and I can still see no reason why it hasn't been done.
And you are his defense attorney, let's say.
Well, listen, that just means I want the government to follow the law, but you've seen the case that they got here. You've seen what's been going on here. You've seen what's involved. You tell me why he's not doing a long time in the joint.
Did you ever talk to VAID? You get these cables at the last minute, right before you're supposed to go to trial. Did you ever, and, they obviously, I think, put the lie to VAID. Did you ever confront him with these?
Sure.
What did he say?
Well, he was in the position, because we were just a few hours before trial, where his response was, well, can we still work a deal with the government?
No, more than that. More than that. He's lied to us directly. VAID. No, we've got the smoking. You're absolutely right. It's the smoking gun. These cables. The next question. But since what, the late 70s has been the sort of the senior guy directing the whole purchase. See, here's what's interesting. Here's what's knocking us out about this story. Initially, Butt is in Paris, right, running around directing the purchase of centrifuges and other stuff to develop enriched products for weapon making. And now, it seems clear, he's in the weapons design. You know, when you're buying Critrons, you're into weapons, you're into triggers. And this is an escalation, and we're now talking about stockpile. We have to be. The next question, obviously, we have in this whole case is, you know, these documents we have been in the government's possession since June at least. And they have not used them in the case against this guy. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
There's one telex that says through Colonel Dar or Mr. Butt.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
but we did not know who those people were. My customs agent did not know who those people were. And as I just told you, I've just talked to her. She found out from me, and I found out from you.
Do you think she should have known?
Well, I would say she should have if customs knew.
They might have had it, but didn't know what it was.
Well, that's right. We had the telexes. If we had known who Butt and Dar were, we would have been in a position to prove that. But we, like I say, we didn't. It also bears out the hunch that I had from the beginning that this man was operating at the behest of the Pakistani government. That is personally gratifying to me.
But Sam, the judge went so far in his statement in court to say this